Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we have a romance Chinese drama. This is Young Shu, a clumsy girl but she had a warm heart. And this is Senyan, a university professor but known to be a cold-hearted person.
The drama begins with Young Cho, a clumsy girl who studies statistics at the university. She goes to buy a house from her cousin to stay with her sister, but on the same day she is late to discuss her graduation project at the university.
But her teacher tells her that she won't be able to, because she is late. Young Shu tells him that it's as only 5 minutes late according to the rules, but he tells her that it's as 5 minutes and 57 seconds late. Chung Yu gets annoyed and tells him that he is the most arrogant and cold-hearted teacher in the world, but he tells her it's incorrect statistics, because you must have met all the teachers in the world before you can say that. Young Shu felt insulted and went in front of him. Her friends tell her that she can discuss with her next year. The important thing is that she goes to her new house, and Young Shu does this, but she is surprised when she goes to see the same teacher there coming out of the bathroom. He sees her take pictures of him, so he approaches her to delete it, and to know what she is doing her. They both take out their papers for the house, and Young Shu discovers that her cousin has deceived her and that she has already rented a rented house. She asks Senyan to go to police station with her, and when she moves she is about to fall but he holds her. She and Senyan go to the police station to report the matter, but when she learns that his punishment is severe, she goes and does not report him. Then she goes to her friend's house, but unfortunately she is expelled from there, so her third friend takes her to the hospital where he works and she can stay in any room. There she meets an old man who smokes and advises him not to do so. He talks to her and tells her about his grandson, whom he wishes to marry and make a family. A little while later, the grandson comes to visit his grandfather, and we discover that he is Senyan, Young Shu's teacher. Grandpa asks him tiredly if he doesn't have a girlfriend. Senyan gets confused and says yes. Then, Grandpa asks to meet her before entering his operation. Senyan gets out quickly and asks the nurse to be his girlfriend but she rejects. Then he sees Young Shu and hurries to her and tells her to be his girlfriend. Young Shu is shocked, but before she can comprehend, Senyan quickly takes her to his grandfather's room. When she learns that it is this man, she agrees to pretend that she is his girlfriend. And as a token of thanks to her, he offers her to stay at his house until she can arrange another place. There, he discovers that she is a messy girl and does not like to arrange things, so he starts to feel upset, but when he sees her sleeping, he sees something in her mouth and tries to get it out, before she swallows it, but she wakes up suddenly and cuts his nose, so he starts dividing places and objects between them and makes laws. When his grandfather wakes up, he asks him to expedite his marriage to Young Shu, but Senyan refuses, and Grandpa's condition deteriorates, so Young Shu tells him that she will do whatever he wants. But she finds Senyan asking her about her height, and when Young Shu doesn't give him a correct answer, he approaches her and calculates her height, and she gets confused. After that, Young Shu goes to a private lawyer to enable her to find her cousin, but he is also deceiving her. When Senyan learns that she has been deceived again, he marvels at her stupidity. He goes to the hospital and starts analyzing her personality to Grandpa and telling him how foolish she is in being deceived, but Grandpa doesn't care and sends them shopping together. There Senyan begins to pick the ingredients carefully and does his shopping, while Young Shu randomly buys items. There, an old woman tells Young Shu that she forgot her wallet and asks her to pay for the items, so Young Shu agrees and Senyan gets angry about her stupidity. Then Senyan asks her to marry him, but Young Shu gets confused and rejects. Then she tells him that she will leave the house because she is embarrassed. But on the way, she meets her sister, so she quickly returns to Senyan and tells her sister that he is her lover, and asks him to help her as she helped him and continues to convince him of the matter until Senyan agrees to this. Young Shu tells Senyan that they have to stay in the same room as for her sister who will stay with them, and when Young Shu sleeps Senyan feels sad because she sleeps on the floor. He walks towards her to give her a pillow, but her head falls on his hand and decides to put her on the bed. The next day, Senyeon hears Yunshu's sister shouts at her because she did not ended her university project, but Senyeon tells her it's his fault and he will take responsibility of it. Here, Youngshu feels that he is a good and responsible person, so she falls in love with him and decides to agree to his marriage proposal, but he surprises her by telling her that it's a one-year contract and it is not allowed to them to touch each other's at all. Youngshu discovers that he wants to marry her only for his grandpa, not as she thought, but she agrees because she loved him, and when Senyeon accidentally touches her, he puts money in his piggy bank. Senyeon and Youngshu goes to the hall to choose everything about the wedding, but her sister comes up to her and tells her that she wants to go from here, and Youngshu gives her the list of preparations, but Youngshu makes a mistake and gives her the marriage contract. Her sister discovers everything and rejects this marriage, but Youngshu tries to convince her. When she refuses, Youngshu decides to run away. Her sister and Senyeon start looking for her till they found her, and then her sister discovers that they love each other and agrees about the marriage. And at the wedding, Senyeon sees Youngshu and admires her beauty as everyone admires them. At home, Senyeon begins to treat Youngcho a little kindly and begins to break the rules with her, take care of her and helps her in study at university. And one day they are eating in the restaurant when Senyeon sees a grain of rice on her face. He takes it with the chopsticks and tells her that it was stuck. But Youngshu thinks he wants to feed her with his hand, so she takes it and eats it. Senyeon is disturbed but tells her that it was stuck, so Youngshu feels embarrassed, and starts eating quickly. After that, it spreads among the students that he has become interested in her in the lectures. Senyeon prevents her from attending the lectures and tells her not to meet him at the university and warns her that no one can know about their relationship, but she collides with Senyeon's co-worker in the office, and she sees their wedding pictures, and here Senyeon gets angry at her, so Youngshu thinks that he will be embarrassed if someone knows that they are married because she is a stupid girl, but he tells her that they will separate after a year and that this is bad for their next relationship. Senyeon's words hurt Youngshu's feelings and she leaves the house, but Senyeon watches her from afar and knows that she works in a supermarket, so he sends her to work for a law firm without knowing that he was the one who sent her. When the grandfather discovers that his grandson and his wife are quarrelsome, he invites them to spend a day with him at his farmhouse, and there Senyeon apologizes to Youngshu and tells her that what matters to him was her reputation among the people and that he does not mind announcing their relationship. Then Youngshu rejoices and returns home. But then Senyeon's friend, who was working with Youngshu in his company, tells him that he loves her and that he will marry her when they separate. Senyeon gets jealous and mad and warns him of approaching his wife. At home, Senyeon hears Yunshu's falling in bathroom. He rushes to her with his eye closed. He then holds her to discover she wears her clothes, so he opens his eyes and looks at her with worry and love. But his friend goes and confesses his love to Youngshu, but Youngshu refuses him. While Senyeon was preparing a small birthday party for Youngshu, he saw her with his friend. He got angry and hid the cake and the gift. Youngshu was sad because she thought Senyeon forgot her birthday, but she was surprised to see the cake in the fridge, and here she decided to make him the party again, and then she explains to Senyeon the misunderstanding. As for his friend, when he knows that Senyeon loves Youngshu but does not confess, he decides to make him jealous more in order to confess to her. Indeed, this happens and Senyeon is jealous of him. Then her cousin appears and owes a large sum of money, so he takes Youngcho to the people who owe them and tells them that she will pay for him, and here Senyeon appears and solves the situation. When they return home, Senyeon finally decides to confess to her. But then comes a chance for Youngshu to study abroad and she had to travel. Senyeon decides not to reject as it's her decision, and when she is at the airport she reads the notes that he wrote for her, so she changes her mind and rushes to him, and they live happily together. If you like the video, do not forget to hit the like button and subscribe for the channel.